Good afternoon and many thanks for making time for KTN Newsdesk. This is indeed news as it happens. And on this 12th day of August 2013, the governors are meeting Deputy President William Ruto yet again. We also have an update coming from the ICC with just a month before the commencement of that particular case. My name is Bonnie Tunya. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. We start with matters of the ICC, and the ICC has ordered Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda to delete the names of witnesses who withdrew from Deputy President William Ruto's case and provide an update list. That is the latest that is coming from the ICC, with just a month before the commencement of that particular case against Deputy President William Ruto, and the ICC has ordered its Prosecutor Fatou Bensouda to delete all the names of witnesses who withdrew from the Deputy President Ruto's case and provide an updated list. We'll be giving you more of this particular report as and when it unfolds. Right, moving on. Financial budgets for county governments came under scrutiny this morning as the first meeting of the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council kicked off. It emerged that some counties had budgeted for non-budget items such as motor vehicles, grants, loans and mortgages. Now, the Controller of Budget, Agnes Odhiambo, took issue with the high allocation of funds by some counties on foreign travel and hospitality by county delegations abroad. 11 counties have presented surplus budgets, 25 counties have a budget deficit, and only 11 counties have balanced budgets. Now, for more on that story, we are now joined by phone by senior reporter Rita Tinina, who is currently keeping track of that particular story. Good afternoon, Rita.
Good afternoon, Bonnie.
It is I think the third time in less than a span of 3 weeks where the governors and the budgeting situation is coming to the news for all the bad reasons. What is it this time round?
Well, the last week's meeting was quite different from today's meeting. This is, in fact, as you said, the first meeting of the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council. This is a council that has been set up under the Public Finance Management Act. And in today's meeting, remember last week it was just governors and a section of government officials. Today they are in attendance here. Finance ministers from the counties are also here. The Deputy President, who is the chairperson of the council, is attending the meeting. There is the Auditor General. There is the Controller of Budget. The Commission on Revenue Allocation is also represented. And as you mentioned there, Bonnie, the Controller of Budget did not have kind words for the counties, saying that they're spending too much money. There is high allocation on travel and hospitality, especially foreign travel. She says that, in fact, nowadays Kenyan delegations, when they request to visit certain countries, some countries are reluctant to allow Kenyan delegations to visit since too many delegations from the country are traveling abroad, and that is at the expense money. The allocation on foreign travel, she says, is too high. You, of course, mentioned the issue of motor vehicles, grants and loans. These are items, she says, should not be on the budget. And she has told the counties that they have to revise their budget. She also says that some counties are collecting revenue and spending the revenue at source without first sweeping the money to the revenue allocation account at the Central Bank of Kenya, which is required by law. And speaking earlier on in the meeting, the Commission on Revenue Allocation giving figures, saying that the counties do not have their budgets right. For instance, there are counties with a budget deficit, including counties such as Vihiga, 91% deficit, Mombasa, 86% deficit, Nyamira, 70% deficit. There are also counties with surplus budgets such as Kwale with 13%, Samburu with 5%, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi, and Busia also have surplus budgets. But there are also counties that have gotten their act right, counties that have balanced budgets. This includes Kiambu, Elgeyo Marakwet, Kericho, Embu, Garissa, and Kakamega. And issues are still being discussed. From the issues that emerged this morning, the council has agreed that they form 3 committees. One of them is the Economic and Planning Committee. There will also be formed the Budget Committee and the Legal Committee. Since most of the governors this morning were complaining that this is the first time they're doing the budget, some didn't know how to go about it. And so these 3 committees that have been formed this morning will sort of, looking ahead, try and guide counties as to how they're meant to formulate their budgets. Bonnie.
Rita, allow me to jump in. You've mentioned only 11 counties have their budgets well done. The others have deficits and surplus and whatnot. And you said there were words that were unkind from the budget controller. But is it just about words, or what is the next course of action in regard to these counties that didn't quite meet the requirements?
Mostly it's how they drew up their budgets, putting money where the money should not be. Some also including in their budgets items such as LATIF funds, the LATIF fees to exist in March. And so many of the governors are saying we didn't know how to go about it, and we need some guidance this time round. So they have formed the 3 committees that I've talked about to sort of guide the counties on how to go about their budgets. The Commission on Revenue Allocation also saying that their staff will be at hand to answer any questions that the county governments have. But the Controller of Budget also saying that she will not be releasing any funds until the counties have their act right. So the deliberations are still going on. We'll wait and hear what way forward will come up later on this afternoon, Bonnie.
All right, Rita, many thanks for updating us on that particular issue. We do know that the Intergovernmental Budget Committee is meeting currently, and from the budget controller, no kind words for the budget, but their defense is that they did not know. Well, we move on to Naivasha, where 2 people were killed and 3 others left seriously injured in a horrific accident along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway. The accident involving 4 vehicles at the Morindat Center saw an overspeeding truck ramming into oncoming vehicles. A bus ferrying flower farm workers was also among the vehicles that was involved in the accident. Now, the accident caused a nasty snarl-up on the highway as members of the public rushed to assist the injured. The incident adds to the rising number of road accidents that have continued to cost hundreds of innocent Kenyans' lives in the recent past.
Nilikuwa nafuata hiyo gari kanda nyeupe. Sasa wakati iliwacha njia na ikaingia ile kanda nyingine, nikajaribu kuebesa yangu, nikaingia mpaka hapo.
Ile lori kwa cruise pale kwa mbeba maji hiyo. Hiyo ndio ndani dereva ndio tuabishe hiyo mambo yote. Kama alikuwa kwa singisi.
Huyu dereva huyu mwenye alikuwa kwa hii lori transisi amesema yeye ati mwenye alikuwa na makosa ni hiyo transisi yenye ilikuwa imelala hapa chini hiyo ni kanta yenye ilikuwa imelala hapa chini ndio wako na makosa.
Huyu wakanta alikuwa amelala, ndio akaingia hiyo gari na kando. Ule akajaribu kupotelea, ikakuja kama imegongana head on na hiyo trailer ikateremka hapo na basi.
Right, next to revisit the Jomo Kenyatta Inferno investigation, where the team is expected to hand over its report today to President Uhuru Kenyatta. The probe team has compiled what may have been the possible cause of the fire that led to the loss of revenue to different airlines, as well as massive loss of the Kenya Airports Authority. The report is expected to highlight issues ranging from the level of emergency preparedness and whose fault led to the fire that gutted down part of the international arrival unit. The team has already interrogated fire marshals from the Kenya Airports Authority and the City Council of Nairobi Fire Brigade. Now, the President earlier indicated that any form of negligence linked to the inferno will not be taken lightly and that those found guilty will be punished. The Parliamentary Committee on Transport, chaired by Minor Commander, is currently interrogating different officials in charge of the airport and its emergency services. Right. Now, police in Murang'a County are pursuing a gang of 6 men who are suspected to have been behind the kidnapping of a grandmother from Mangoto village in Makuyu. The grandmother says the men kidnapped her and later demanded ransom from her relatives. According to 75-year-old victim, the kidnappers were dressed in police uniform and were armed with a gun.
At the home of 75-year-old Jen Joki, relatives and neighbors are here to comfort the granny who underwent a nasty ordeal over the weekend. Joki has just arrived at her home 12 hours after she was kidnapped by 6 men. A shaken grandmother narrates how the 6 men came to her house Sunday evening.
Sio, wewe ndio mwenye hapa? Nikasema ndio. Nikabio toka, nikasimama hapa nje. Nikisimama hapa nje, na alinikusha akaniambia enda ukaongee na mkubwa. Sasa nikukuja niongee, hata sikuongea. Niambie ingia gari.
According to Njoki, the men were wearing police uniform and were armed with a gun. They then demanded to live with her. Njoki says the men then took her to an abandoned house in the middle of a bush near Kamweru River in Maragua constituency, where they tied her legs and hands together. They then started making calls to her sons, demanding for ransom.
Rudi nyumbani na kupigiwa simu tena na hao abductors, na wananiambia kama nimeona wamefanya vizuri kuachilia mama yangu, ni jukumu letu sasa tuwapatie pesa.
Njoki says as the dawn approached, the 6 men left her alone in the house as she struggled to free herself. She then escaped and found her way to a nearby police station. Police from Makuyu station in Muranga are pursuing the gang.
Right, from Muranga next we stop in Samburu, where police are hunting down suspected bandits who killed 2 people and injured 3 others. The bandits are said to have shot at the public service vehicles along the Wemba-Lerata road, leaving 1 driver in critical condition. Now, the suspects reportedly proceeded to shoot and injure 2 others on the same day. The Samburu County Director of Education was attacked and robbed of his valuables. 2 people had been killed 2 days earlier while traveling to Isiolo from Laisamis. 1 suspected bandit was arrested and police are questioning him for leads to the arrest of the group. Now the next one is a good story. For the last 19 years, Hindus from the Sri Kuchi Leva Patel Samaj community have been holding mass weddings in Kenya, and this year it was no different. Today, 29 couples jumped the broom. Here is KTN's Najma Ismail with that story.
It was pomp and glitter at the Nairobi West Temple as over 8,000 Hindus converged to witness this colorful annual ceremony. The couple sat across each other, donned in colorfully designed traditional saris and kurtas, each couple with their family members by their side. And as the priest chanted mantras, the couple went through their customary activities and rituals where their hands are tied with a single cotton thread several times to signify a strong foundation to a long-lasting relationship. The bride and groom later take 7 sacred steps, with each of the steps representing a vow. Most of the couples are from Kenya, while some came from as far as Uganda and even India. The Kachi community usually holds mass weddings in order to cut costs and assist couples who want to get married but are not financially stable.
It's a lot of expense to have weddings done individually.
But apart from saving money, the Kachi community says this annual event plays a big role in uniting them and strengthening their brotherhood. The wedding preparations take at least 2 months following the registration of the couples, while the entire wedding takes up to 6 hours. This is made possible by the massive number of volunteers who manage everything from security to ushering to the preparation of the sumptuous meals of paratas, gatias and gobi alus. For Mukesh Rabadia and his bride Priti Haley, they could not hide their joy and had only one wish.
We live happily, nothing else.
Mass weddings in the Indian community originated from Kachi, Gujarat in the early 90s due to the tough economic times. Najma Ismail, KTN.
Well, I know a few people who didn't even opt for mass weddings, but the next story, probably might have already read it online, is that Oprah Winfrey says she was recently the victim of racism. While shopping in Switzerland, she says a store assistant refused to show her a handbag because it was too expensive. However, the store's manager has since reacted to the news, saying it wasn't an act of racism but just misunderstanding.
Plenty of discussion here in Zurich about the Oprah Winfrey incident. Was it snooty salesmanship, racism, or just a simple mistake? The shop owner claims that her sales assistant didn't quite understand what Oprah was asking for and says that she was embarrassed by the crocodile bag's $38,000 handbag.
This employee is very familiar working with international customers and actually is a very good employee. It would be very strange to me if she would have refused to show a bag. the employee would be more than happy to sell this bag. The sale of this bag would have been like 7 times that of her monthly salary, and this would have definitely been a great feeling of success for her.
And though Oprah claims racism, many people here don't see it that way at all.
I think it was a misunderstanding because, I mean, the American way of interaction is different and the European way is more cool, you know, and so I'm sure it was a misunderstanding of cultural origin.
It sums up the Swiss approach. Yeah, it's about the money, not the race.
It's definitely about money and how you dress. Because I actually think you should be able to walk around in normal clothes and go into any store and buy anything you want, no matter how you dress. And it's not about color.
Still, the shop said that they were very sorry, as did the Swiss Tourism Authority, who said that people should know that all visitors, Oprah included, are welcomed in Switzerland with open arms. And another question that's being asked, who would buy a $38,000 handbag in the first place? That handbag, incidentally, has since been sold. Diana Magne, CNN, Zurich.
It is time for our afternoon business chat, and today we're talking about teachers and business and savings. Rarely will you hear of a coast-based SACCO that has gone national, and we're talking about Kilifi Teachers SACCO that is now going to be known as Imarika, and I'm now joined by the CEO, Daniel Marsha, in studio. Just bring us to speed with what is happening. Daniel, I understand you have over 30,000 members, a turnover of 400 million, an asset base of just about 2.5 billion. How do you do that?
Well, times are changing. Times keep on changing and times are changing, and we have decided to embrace change from the beginning. And that is why we are no longer dealing with the teachers, but we have opened up our common bond, and any Kenyan now can become a member of Imarika.
Oh, it's now not Kilifi. You not gotten used to the new name. But then why, people are wondering, what benefit is it to me if I'm not a teacher? Is it open to anyone?
It is open to all the members in all occupations, all professions. Apart from teachers, they can also become members.
So next we'll be here, it's going to be Imarika Bank, or what's your next step?
Yeah, maybe that is the higher vision that we have.
All right. Very quick final question will be, how do you ensure that the back office operations are accurate and ethical? And we're living in a time when corruption has quite eaten up a big chunk of the financial sector. How do you ensure that people can trust you with this money? How is your back office operations?
First of all, our SACCO is regulated. Under the SACCO Societies Regulatory Authority, that is SASRA.
Right.
And through that regulation, we are sending reports on how we manage. There are some specific ratios that we are supposed to comply with. And that is on the part of integrity, that is on the part of ensuring that the safety of our members' funds is assured. And then we have developed systems. We are ICT, and all our processes have been automated to make sure that we are also on time and real time at all times, our services. For example, our branches are interconnected and the members can be served at any branch at any time. We have also on the technology, embraced the technology of cash withdrawal services through mobile banking, and with partnership with the Cooperative Bank, we have the SACCO Link ATM card.
And of course, all that is evident through the huge newspaper pullout you did yesterday, and so that's where you can get the info about the Imarika SACCO and all we do. Good luck as you aim towards turning it into a bank. Kenya Federation embattled National Executive Committee member Hussein Terry insists the Federation lacks the mandate to suspend him from football activities in the country. FKF suspended Terry from any football activities until he cleared with the Federation the issues he peddled against them. Now, the football power struggle in the coast was evident as 2 parallel meetings were held over the weekend.
Sisi kulingana na suspension iliyokuwa imetolewa ya Mwachia na Mwayoyo na Ashapili, sisi kama vilabu bado tunajua tumewasuspend kwa sababu sisi ndio tuliwashtaki. Wao walichukua pesa zetu 1.4 million za ligi ya 2012 na wakashindwa kuzi account, na hiyo ndio ilitokea sababu tukaandika barua kwa National Office kupitia kwa NEC member na ndio wakawa suspended.
Sisi tumepeleka kesi yetu kwa anti-corruption. Wacheni anti-corruption wafanye uchunguzi wao. Baada ya uchunguzi, Wakenya watajua kama ni ukweli ama ni uongo. Tuweni na subira. Pesa zinaletwa kutoka FIFA 20 million inakuja each year iende kwa grassroots football. Mimi kama chairman wa youth 2 years leo nimetoa program yangu, nimetoa budget yangu. I have not been allocated even 100,000 tu niambiwe ifanya kazi ya youth.
Right, you be the judge on who's telling the truth, but that's where we wind up. But not before I give you the did you know fact of the day. Evidently Edith is not here, but did you know that August has the highest percentage of births? It explains a lot. My name is Bonnie Tunya. Good afternoon.